I think Team Spirit read this right. He's going to die. So you might as well have a carry that can come back a second life. He's going to need it in this type of game.
I'm wondering if Storm is still good here because Soulbind, Spear, X-Mark, Torrent, there are ways of catching him. But you need someone who can stab backline with the Spirit Breaker. Earthshaker is going to be the Fog hero. Looking for that Blink Initiation. Spirit Breaker is the guy who literally charges in, makes that play aggressively. So they don't go for that super mobile hero. G on the Deucer.
I think this might be a quick blink for Brave King in this type of game. It feels like Radiance is too greedy now. Like when you draft a Medusa, you're basically submitting that she wants off the back. Which is kind of depressing if you're playing the other roles, but Brave King is that type of hero that can have that flex, right? He can do his farmer with Radiance, but he can go aggressive like Armlet Blink Dagger. It's just a matter of if you're up high damage, you're up against Mars, a troll as well. This is... I feel like Team Spirit just kind of baited themselves in the draft, if that makes sense. They trapped themselves in a way of playing their line.
Yeah. So, they do have something exceptionally good, which is two very tanky frontline heroes that set up for the counter initiation of BZC and Vanscore to be able to jump in and have that kind of flip in the team fight. Slam and Global Silence. There's no way for Flight to Moon right now to dispel off the Global. So the save you get from Demon, the Soulbind you get with Kunkka or the double X or double disruption potentially can be delayed. But I think the most important thing is going to be Arc's BKB timing because you need to get that battle trance off and Global Silence absolutely ruins you in that kind of position. But Flight to Moon's damage output is pretty intense. Not just team fights, but in the laning stage. Shadow Poison with Stroke of Fate, Spear, they've got a lot of chip and harass damage, while Team Spirit don't have that. They need more time. Team Spirit need time in this game to get Manchester and Wraith King to a point at which 20-25 minutes in, they walk towards objectives, play as 5, and take objectives one by one and try and force team fights around them. And play systematically. But if you're playing systematically, you need your lane phase as well, I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Team Spirit in this draft.
I mean, it's kind of like we said in the previous game that we cast. They were too aggressive, too reliant on the lanes going well. Now it's kind of like the start of the draft. Just like, yes, this hero ramps up quicker than it used to. 5 miles compared to the old one. I think it's going to ramp up quick enough. I think this is concerned that even if G gets a good start, if he goes for a mana pool based build instead of a physical damage based build, like heavily like Daedalus, etc., I think he kind of loses himself. I can already see what's going to happen. It's like Troll's going to rush a Diffusal, and then you're screwed if you go for that mana build, right? Like that matchup is very volatile. I feel like the matchup to watch in this game is Troll and Medusa in these team fights as you get past like the 25-minute mark, which most people are like, no, that's how carries work. Right? But this is one of the things where whoever takes a slight lead in those two, it should be completely decisive in the outcome of the game, right?
Yeah, is this a Diffusal Blade get for the Troll? It feels like it is against Wraith King Deucer.
Yeah.
Like Diffusal Manta or Diffusal... Even just like Diffusal BKB as a Troll Warlord in this game probably suits him pretty nicely.
Like, I feel, and then to an extent, Team Spirit, we said they debated themselves in the draft now. And if G does go for that mana build, I think he's just lost his team the game.
Because I feel like can potentially here go for the, upgraded boots, bracer, maybe go for single bracer into Raddy and Halberd. Yeah. Because Halberd is against Wraith King Deucer. Sure. And having a Radiant the right clicks of Deucer, Wraith King Skeletons, also super nice, but it also adds that additional damage dealing core. You'll have the Troll who can stand up against the Deucer, you can have the Kunkka who's chasing down the supporting cast in the back. Mars is going to be pairing up with the Grimshrug to try and get team fights started and going properly, and then Shadow Demon can play that safety backup little boy in the back with the disruption.
And let's not forget what the offlaners provide in this type of game, right? The difference between these two is BCC is full in, right? He gets in, he has to have a huge impact with a good Echo Slam, straight away slam them through. If it fluffs from Mars, you know he's going to be the lives, right? Like the Vlads. He could potentially go for something like Crimson Guard if his team really needed it. Shaker's not really the hero you think of that, right? You think like Blink Dagger, maybe a 4-star for Yules and then straight axe. Like if you have to stop, you obviously feel a bit rough about it, but you ultimately want to go blink axe. So you are all about control. You don't provide utility. And the question I'm trying to get to here, Gareth, is who does really give you that utility? Because none of these heroes really are going to build those aura items, right?
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where Team Spirit, they're front forward. They are the ones that need to make the moves aggressively. They need not only to make the moves aggressively in the mid game, but also in the early game, because they need the laning stage to go well to get the items they need for the mid game. And that's where this becomes this massive game of Jenga, right? Where you're trying to pull a piece out, put a piece back on, and if you're doing that with a Medusa and a Wraith King, who potentially need to overlap and farm jungle if things do go poorly, all of a sudden you've got a congested jungle, you don't have enough space on the map, you're losing tier 1s. This game could very quickly slip away out of the hands of Team Spirit if things go poorly in the laning stage. But on the flip side, if they go even or better than even, if they get an advantage in the laning stage, Medusa is powerful in this game, so is Wraith King. They are tanky bastards. Spirit Breaker and Earthshaker, they bring that initiation and they bring that counter initiation to allow them to survive and deal their damage even longer. With a global stance on top, they've got the ability to reset team fights, so Mars, Troll, and Kunkka can't get that comp. Like, Silencer against Kunkka is such a sick pick, because he can't get his combos off properly due to that global silence. So you do have answers here as Team Spirit, but they're finicky they aren't straightforward. Here's an answer. It is 1 + 1 = 2. It is some kind of quantum mechanics. Oh god, it's happening kind of brain scratching answers that Team Spirit have.
Yeah,
up against.
I can show you on here. This is how the equation starts. You got like pi, word, 3, and then it does this, like this, because this is what happens, right? The moment one element of your team fight fails, you flop. Because the great thing about these big ultimates, like the Silencer's Global or the Medusa's Stone Gaze, they work, they're great. The moment they fail, not only did they just flop, your insurance policy is now gone for 2 minutes, for example. Right? It's always the big issue of we see Enigmas rarely ever commit the black holes. They hold on to it because they're like, okay, the threat of me black holing you is just as dangerous as me actually black holing you. The problem with silence I always find is it's kind of more of a all-in, right? Like, this is a threat of a global silence. But if they jump you, like, and you throw it out, it usually feels suboptimal. You're not this type of hero that can usually tank up and live long enough to hold your role and make a big difference.
And that's why I was suggesting the Storm, right? Because you have the Spirit Breaker to charge in, you have the Storm to follow, and you have the global as that blanket, the security blanket, right? It's not necessarily a reactive usage. It's more often better to use global silence preemptively or aggressively than it is defensively. And it's always felt that way. That's a talking point we've had about Silencer for the past 6 years. Like you mentioned, if Silencer gets jumped and uses it defensively, it feels poor. But if he is able to use it aggressively with his teammates making that first move in, which Team Spirit most certainly need to do this game, then it feels good and it feels powerful.
I guess the way to look at it is Spirit Breaker is the unlocker of Silencer, right? You need to be glowing as he charges in, and that's the only way you feel good about using your ult.
How has G lost half his HP mid lane already? What the
that should not be... Was he tanking? I think he tanked the creep wave. I think Iceberg pulled it through to his side and forced like a tank on tank, but you're a melee. You don't care about that. You can just get tickled all day by that.
Yeah, he's got Stout Shield. He don't care. So lane set up, we've got Flow Mars against BZZ Earthshaker, 1v1 bot lane. Earthshaker should be able to farm really well down here with Enchant Totem, get some denies going as well. Flow might struggle a little bit early on, but it should be farm trade for the most part down there. Try top. I generally don't know who this favors, because you've got Inkswell, Troll on one side. You've got easily spammable abilities and flows on the Dire. But then you've got stuns and damage on the Radiant with the ability to disengage through that Spirit Breaker as well. The fact that Wraith King and Spirit Breaker are very tanky, but they're also against double range heroes. So you've got this weird, balance on balance tightrope act going on. Wraith King securing CS with stuns. Beautifully done. Illidan, get in there, my son.
I mean, it's value though, right? That's why he's able to throw the stuns, because I think the variable here that really matters for Team Spirit is always going to fly. Like, you're going to get all the stick charges you really ever need in this type of lane, as long as Velios just guts this line here and keeps eyes on all times. It sounds like an oversimplification, but this is why Shadow Demon usually feels like a rough hero to pick a lot of the time. I needed those big buffs. Is any hero that gives over a lot of charges in lane can usually lose you the lane, because those type of heroes aren't based off quick nuking people down. It's usually an attritional battle. you know, 6 make attritional battles very contradictive.
Iceberg is annihilating G mid lane, by the way. He has his bottle already out to him. G is running out of regen. If that torrent had landed, G potentially, honestly, could die there. Not too Tidebringer, it's no joke.
I mean, this is rough. Like, you just see the damage here. He's going to have to fall back. He has got a South coming out now, but you'll heal up. And the problem, this is always the issue with Kunkka, guys. Once he gets level 3 on X torrent, flee through, gets him low, forces the use of the mana, which is what he wanted, because then they've traded evenly. And there's a regen room bot, so whoever sees that.
I mean, if Kunkka gets it for bottle refill, that's absolutely sickening. But 18-4 against 10 and 2, Kunkka is slaying that mid lane. Down bot, worth mentioning, BZZ is doing pretty damn well. 10 and 5, he was tripling up for a little bit on the CS of the Mars, but looks like Flo has caught up with some good spear usage. Should continue just being a farm trade down there as they battle out beyond between each other. So I think we keep our eyes on top, KP, because that is where the action should be occurring.
I don't know about that. I'm watching it right now. Iceberg is nuts. He has his regen rune. Any damage G just done is irrelevant. Meanwhile, charge now coming in as you were right. Arcad being spell on, stuns up Illidan for a moment. He's slowed down with the willing axis moving forward. Illidan should fully keep him alive a little bit longer. The poison is stacking up. One more kill, dirt. Guess is wrong. Won't get a kill, and instead always want to fight will be the first blood. He's punished for his gluttony. Ranscore is getting slightly smart. Charge in. Looking onto Arc right now. Yeah, got the willing axes available. Coming off cooldown, but he's taking way too much damage. The bash there as well. Thinking about going in, but he does have the stun on cooldown for 8 seconds. They'll keep Arc alive. They do have a salve. They've actually got 2 support, so he'll be fine.
You can see how close that lane is, right? Exactly for the reasons I mentioned earlier on. Spirit Breaker and Wraith King tanky. The stick charges you mentioned really do upset the balance of this, but it's a knife battle between these 2 ranged heroes with the troll able to spam out axes, chasing people down, getting lots of damage in, and now maybe they'll find some retribution.
Yep. They've got to make sure they don't get any stupider. So they get rid of Sansa first. This is always the risk, though. You know, it almost feels like Sansa has to be ran in tri-lanes, because if the hero ever gets overwhelmed, he feels bloody useless, right? It's just one of the easy heroes in the game to run down and kill off.
It's like we talk about Disruptor being very good aggressively, but very poor defensively. Silencer is in the same book, just amplified.
Denied.
Absolutely.
He's very good when he's clicking people, but not so good when people are clicking him.
I mean, we saw it there, right? Spirit Breaker is like, okay, let's just ignore him. We'll just deal the other support, because once he's charged, what does he actually do? If you outnumber, he does nothing, and there's a charge in the mid lane. That's the target. He's close to 6, just shy of it, in fact. They decide to cancel it. They realize there's a risk that you get 6 any moment, and if you screw up there, you potentially lose 2 heroes.
He's 17 experience off. It's a creep off. And he's looking for a cheeky torrent. G doesn't have Quelling Blade yet, so Radiant side Medusa very often wants to top lane Arc. Always in
trouble. It's going to go down. +2.
Up to 4. 2 +2. That's what numbers do.
All right.
So Medusa mid lane doesn't have Quelling Blade and can't access the medium camp easily just yet. Usually you want to try and clear mid wave, pull your normal wave out here so you can farm the medium camp at the same time as the next wave comes in. But Kunkka's playing on the Radiant ramp, right? You've seen where Iceberg is playing, and he's just standing kind of in that box on the enemy ramp for the most part, forcing Medusa to stay in wave or play into his angle of attack, basically.
And he's always shoving it in, always keep that pressure, which means you'll never be able to hit. Oh, there's a D down here. Spirit Breaker is close on the mid lane.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker was camping top rune. He wanted to stop the Kunkka getting top rune. Mars will take it bot though.
Yeah, he's got his top ring spell. Ink spell on the top, trying to chase down, but Illidan a little bit too fast and always want to flash the back away, taking a lot of damage there from Vanscore. Mars. Oh, he's surrounded. He won't realize it. He moves in with the arena. Looking on the G, needs to push him up against the wall, but he fails to do so. And now, Blind a little bit of trouble. Torrent's coming out though, pushes him back into the boat, which is coming through. Iceberg charging on him. Looking towards G, he's got no mana left. The charge through on the flow. Back up. There to push one away. Pins Spirit Breaker to the wall. BCC still chasing. He's got the Echo Slam to work with. If he gets a little bit closer. Like, come here, you. Charge through. We'll better slow him down enough. He doesn't even need the Echo Slam for this kill, really. If your Spirit Breaker blocks you, you do. And now he won't get anything. Well, you can't, even if you fissure, you haven't got face boots. You're not going to close the distance. It's a wasted effort.
That's definitely a Why are there 4 heroes in the mid lane? Nice play by Flo, gets the DD rune, and Iceberg has made the call that he shoved Medusa out of lane, so they know that she's going to be either at medium camp or large camp to the south of the mid lane, farming away, as Medusas do. You know, she's not going to be north in the triple camp near the Northern Shrine, because that's where the Wraith King should be, but bringing Wraith King, Spirit Breaker, Earthshaker in to defend the Medusa, and not get any kills, while top lane, oh god, hello.
Charging in, they saw the supports farming, and they're going to punish them here, Slayer. Ink's going to protect himself, Wraith Bar blast out. Stun comes out on the Spirit Break, trying to turn around. They know they're going to get +2 over. Always want to fly, needs to back up though. He's going to give another +2 at this rate. There it is, Fanscore with a double kill, and Iceberg, he's got a level 1X. He can't get close enough. His tiny legs can't run it off because he still doesn't have his phase boots.
Oh, diddums.
A little bit of an oopsie.
Yeah, small oopsie. Fanscore, hyper intelligent now, 200 IQ. 8 stolen intelligence. Good man.
Proving that his IQ and his draft can just replicate itself into the game. You feel pretty good at the 8-minute mark to have 8 int stolen like this. You might be able to increase it soon. This is the beautiful thing. If you can actually apply the pressure with a Spirit Breaker like this, this is the prime time. This is prime Spirit Breaker real estate. First 10 minutes, find a few kills. And right now, 4-1 the score. He's definitely living up to expectations. Even if he did fluff up that kill on Mars in the bot.
Yeah, he most certainly has made things awkward, right? Troll is level 4, barely getting close to level 5. Wraith King's almost cracking 6 now, due to the Spirit Breaker making action happen top, keeping them pressured and uncomfortable, while also moving from lane to lane and not leeching experience. He's only he's barely level 3 on Spirit Breaker, but I think you'd rather have your Wraith King getting levels right now than your Spirit Breaker. It feels okay as Team Spirit, right? 4-1, 1k lead. Their Medusa hasn't fed, which is the most important thing. Now has the Quelling Blade to, like I was saying earlier, unlock that medium camp on the Radiant side of the map. But it's going to come down to vision at this point, because Radiant, they want to make sure that the rotations of Kunkka, Mars, Shadow, and Grimstroke are going to start being active now. Very likely will look to play towards bottom tier 1 in that classic little swing down into the Radiant safe lane to take an objective. But on their way, I think they'll look to maybe try and pick off mid lane, right? That normal transition will be to walk a couple of heroes down and then later TP the troll as they arrive on the lane. So you'll look for a pick off on the Medusa somewhere in the jungle. Maybe catch the silencer on your way through. But that's one perspective. That's what FTM likely want to look to do in the next 2 minutes. Look for that 10-minute catapult wave, look for the 10-minute bounty runes. Whereas on the other side, Team Spirit, they're all about timings. They're all about the Radiance on the Wraith King. They're all about this Medusa getting up into her Dragonlance, Yasha, whatever it might be. Lots of builds floating around on Medusas nowadays. We'll get a nice little Obs Ward, D-Ward in the mid spot. But the fact that you're not bleeding out here as Team Spirit feels exceptionally good with the lineup you've got.
Oh, that's true. Iceberg could have went for a kill on Spirit Breaker, decides it's not worth it though, wants to get back to the lane. Charge top, looking on the arc. Illidan's waiting. Just needs to press one button. Charge in. Doesn't bother to press it actually. Illidan, I think he forgot what was happening for a moment there. It's hard, right? When you're in a carry, you're in the zone. You're hitting creeps. You know, you can't hear sounds around. It's a little bit muffled. You hear your teammate screaming, attack, and you could think he means creeps. You just think he's talking normally. I've been there. We've all been there. Flow, bot lane, Echo Slam actually forced out, and that was not the arena you were looking for. And Slayer, he needs to get out of dodge. The charge through right now. Stop temporarily on the arena wall, but in the end, they'll move through. Slayer, the next target, they get a single bash. Try and actually block instead. Doesn't want to trust RNG. Want BCC to get close enough. And there it is, the bash. Chart turn follow-up, tap him down, and Slayer will die.
That's huge.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Absolutely huge.
Oh, top lane. They force to reincarnate out, but always want to fly. Oh, Vanscore's getting even smart. The fissure, just the tip, tickles him. They thought about stunning up Iceberg. Got Torrent coming off cooldown. Let's turn around here. X is there. Looking on a BCG, a prime target if they can find it. But no, Ray Fire Blast just in time for Illidan. Stops the drag back. And the spear will get the kill on the Vanscore, saying you're getting too smart for your own shoes. But he did at least get that +2 from Always Want to Fly. His mana pool is getting ever smaller.
Let's see if they can get bounty runes. That's the most important thing. That's why these fights are happening right now. That's why they've moved heroes top. That's why they've set up for that kill bottom as the Radiant team, because they want bounty runes at 10 minutes. It looks like with Spirit Breaker down bottom getting 1, potentially 2, it'll be...
He will.
3 for 1.
Claire won't be able to slow him down enough. 3 for 1 in favor of Team Spirit.
Spirit Breaker needs some face time with the creeps though. Level 3, 10 minutes in, not acceptable. That is an unreasonably low level on your Spirit Breaker. He's got a tome coming. but he needs desperately to get to level 6 at this point. It was okay earlier on, him being level 2 at, 4, 5, 6 minutes, that's okay, but he needs to start cracking on with it now.
Just TP back and left the other behind. They know it as well, they're moving in. Looking forward. Wraith King in trouble. Reincarnates on cooldown, they're aware of this fully. They'll throw the axes through. They'll try and cut the trees, but the Willing Axis clips and kills him. BCC will complete the TP, doesn't have Echo Slam for 40 though. They might try and make a play with the charge. The problem is you've got 2 supports behind this troll. I don't think you go for it.
He's not got Battle Trance.
No. They're not sure of this though. Like, for all you know, he's taking the point. Logically, you don't want to take the point. You want more points in the Willing Axis so you can just accelerate your farm a little bit faster. It's the greedy Terrorblade notion, right? I don't want to have to level my Metamorphosis. The only thing it's good for is fight. And I want to farm.
Me no Sunder, me only meta.
Ironically, it was the meta. Sadly. He won't be back anytime soon. That Ags upgrade for Terrorblade is pretty terrible. Thank God. Some people wish it would come back, I know, but I'm not one of them.
No.
I remember Fog said he actually enjoyed the quality of the meta. X, looking at Velion. Here comes the bow! He's in trouble. Torrent connects as well. No easy escape for him. The poisons are stacking up. And always want to fly, can easily get the kill. Wants to give over to his Kunkka. Drags back. And actually Slayer stacks at the end. Just the tip of his paintbrush.
Let's see how long that took. That took a solid 15, 16 seconds for your level 10 mid lane Kunkka, your 2 supports to kill off the position 20 Spirit Breaker who's still level 5. Oh, and you got a level 7 Stancer. Vanscore's the carry now. Valior has been relegated to the ward purchase. No, it's not. Vanscore's buying the wards and Valior's being given them. Mind.
I mean, Vanscore's kind of... Let's be honest here. Vanscore's getting his stats for killing people. He doesn't need items. Charge in, looking on the flow. They have level 6, but they do have RNG on their side. Flow, just keep it raking away. That's the important one.
And now they defend their shrine. So, looking really smooth here for Team Spirit. Medusa nearly has the Asher done. Earthshaker's what, halfway to Ags? Yeah, yes. Well over halfway to Ags now. So they're going to have these primary items incredibly quickly. Wraith King really is the only one that you're kind of wondering what he's heading to, because Illidan has gloves and 2k gold and nothing spent.
I think he decided Midas is the bad idea. This looks like an armor build-up. Global Silence. Boat comes in the mid lane, but they can't follow it up. The Fissure might work against them, but in the end, actually Velior helps out the Kunkka, pushes him over, says off you go. It's like freeing an injured bird in the wild. You give a little tap, send it on its way. Iceberg has got the F. Torrent. Velior dragged back into it. Moving in right now. Flow has the arena. Throws it down just for a Spirit Breaker. Look at this. Sidestepping it. Moving to Iceberg right now. Kingswell try and get him away. They'll banish the Shaker. Keep him out of this. This is a problem with going for the Axe Rush if you don't have the blink right now. Fissure was decent, but he can't get close enough to the Echo Slam. Nice stroke. Slowing them down. Rush coming out. Slow the rest of the team even further. Make sure BCC cannot move. They're just cutting him out. They know the risk. They know if they step too close. And they are toying with BCC right now. He's so tanky.
Illidan is toying with them as much as they're toying with BCC though. You know, they're X-marking, torrenting, spamming on BCC, and he's trapped down in the river. But the movement of Illidan there, not giving up the chase, not giving up the jig, pushing forward, even though it's only level 1 reincarnation, when they don't have global silence, still feel incredibly powerful with the Medusa sat behind them. And you can feel the threat. FTM do not feel comfortable there. Yeah. The Mars Arena was off. I want to say that one was not an exceptionally good one, only catching the Spirit Breaker when he could maybe have had 3 inside. But it's a rough one to go for. You're fighting up high ground in towards tier 1 with situation with an area in which a situation where, you know, a Stone Gaze or a nice Echo Slam could most certainly catch you off guard. But they're trying to unsettle their opponents. Line drawn across the map now by the troll. This is the line of defense. This is the kind of the Maginot line of the Dire team, right? Where they want to try and take Radiant jungle, defend their tier 2 top, don't let the Radiant get into their own Dire jungle and top shrine area, and it's the dance around the Roche pit for the most part for the next 10 minutes.
It's mostly the don't cross this line boundary, right? The one that you draw for me in our pub games, I ignore quite often. Blow, arena, uh-oh. I mean, technically, he's just over the line, but a little bit over is too much over. His flow is left behind. These arenas have left a lot to be desired. He'll catch the rune and run on by. He doesn't have to die for it, at least. That's something. Torrent carrying health. Vanscore getting pretty late. They hit the turret, they would have got the kill. The Inkswell onto the illusion instead. Ray Fire Blast tries to slow down, but it's too late. Silencer gets killed off by himself. Charge through, does fine. Slayer on the side. Nice. Push with the spear, straight towards Slayer. Not sure that was what he's after. There's the bash. They were going to use Never Strike, but the boat coming through. Not in time. X draw back on the one, but BCC still so damn tanky with this build up into the Agdens. All the while, this time around, Arc the one farming elsewhere, you know? We do so in Arc. They just try, G and Arc just try to stay out of every fight. It's like, guys, you go do whatever you want. Me hit creeps.
Are fortified.
Even Roshan
Radiance
came out of his pit to join that fight. What's all this noise out on my lawn? Gives a couple of hits.
It's
Gives a couple of hits to the Radiant Heroes, yeah.
He gets like this blood first come over and he's like, what's that? CIS team's playing? I better be involved in the fight.
Dive to pause.
Oh, blow. The target against the tower. They might get more. Level size comes out. I'm not sure why though, considering there's no arena available. Just better safe than sorry. Blow. Oh my god, it's still alive. The foul hit. Failure. Activate commando lunge range from Modern Warfare 2 and gets the kill. Oh, they got low. Iceberg doesn't have vision though.
bottom tower is under attack.
Arc Invis has Diffusal Blade as well. This is one of his real strong points right now. Before his BKB comes out, Diffusal Blade can rip people to shreds.
This is what we were waiting for.
Illidan top could easily solo die to the troll.
Yeah.
Oh, who's scan? Dire scan. So they're looking for people behind the Arc is going for a solo kill here.
Oh boy.
Under attack.
He should be able to find it pretty easily. Moves straight in. Hello! And he even summons his babies to try and protect him, but it's too late. Illidan out of man. He's out of time. Gonna get rooted up, and it looks like that should be an easy kill. Nice. Arc gets it.
Mid lane as well. They've transitioned in for a fight. AWF gone.
Can they get more though? They want to get more. The Flow has the arena on the BCC. Uh-oh. Then you just hate when this happens. The wrong spot. The boat coming in to control up Shaker, who is still stupidly tanky and refusing to die. Charge in. Iceberg. They'll actually cancel and move away. Velio needs to be careful because the X is coming out. A little cleave. A little cheeky move of the Inkswell. Moving in. Nice coverage by BCC so far on point, whether it's tanking or disruption coming out from the fissure. Oh, that spear! Beautifully done on Novelio as he begins to charge. Allows Flow to move away and live.
I feel like Flow's having a few issues with these arenas now. That's the second or third one where there are 3 heroes in the vicinity. Like you think of the Earthshaker positioning there, Flow's coming in, and there are 2 heroes in the river which he could, arena around. But he's choosing to arena single heroes, which I'm kind of confused at, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, it's definitely an improvement on him arenaing and dying, which happened the first time. So he's getting there. It's a ramp up, Gareth. You can't start at 10, okay?
Fair enough. Makes
what
perfect sense.
People regularly tell me about my casting. I tend to ignore them and flow my 2. So.
You'll improve just fine, slowly but surely.
All right, this isn't the hare and the tortoise. Okay, this is Dota. In Dota CIS, I expect people to run each other. And so far, Dota.
Bloody Dota.
Good old Dota. Don't. I've had that mocked about me. Americans are not very nice about accents.
What, dropping T's? I mean, they say butter instead of butter, right? So they can't say shit.
Don't get me started on aluminium. Which probably some of our viewers are going to be really annoyed as they think that's how it's said correctly. You're wrong. But, back to the game. There is going to start to be some pressure. You can already see that tier 1 gone. You can see the move from Team Spirit. They've done a really good job of making sure Rayfield spends most of his game up here. On top of that, a really good job of keeping their towers up. Yes, they lost the bot tier 1, but that mid, while it's only still in there, it is still living, and just guess who's not? Slayer. The Axe is online, and this is the big problem I see for Flight Immune, right? Is that you had all this time where BCC did not have an Axe. This is the vulnerability of going Axe rushes. You don't do anything for a long time. But because they always initiated on him, they got nothing done.
Yeah, now FTM very much in the waiting game for the troll BKB. I don't feel like they want to be really actively looking for fights or objectives until they have troll BKB, Blink Dagger on Mars. These timings should hit reasonably well synchronized, as well as the Kunkka BKB, honestly, after his Armlay is heading straight into it. So they should have at least a very nice synchronized timing between the 3 cores in the next minute and a half or so, but they need to get there first. And you can see Team Spirit chomping at the bit to try and make that first move, get in onto this top lane.
Iceberg by as much time as possible. Problem is, the Skelly Bros, they're back again.
Dire's top.
And you only have 1 boat. Oh, BCC sniping around. Won't find anything though. But they will find a tier 2 tower. Runes are up. They'll be able to secure 2, but like to move 2 as well.
Yeah, waiting game. They don't defend top tier 2. We know how
Radiant's
difficult
bottom
it can be
is under attack.
for the Dire team to defend top tier 2, Radiant team to defend bottom tier 2. Those are kind of the dead lanes that you don't want to be in. Very hard. Make fights happen in your favour.
They might be able to now, though. Oh, does have his blink dagger.
Yeah. So that's part one of the timing, right? Troll should have his BKB now pretty much done, or he's not too far away from it.
Yeah, he's a decent amount of way still, though. And Kunkka is very close to his. He's just actually 30 gold off.
Yeah, so we're looking at maybe a minute. What's Troll GPM? Like 500? 446? 450? Yeah, 445.
Yeah, it's a bit rough. He's definitely behind the Medusa by a decent margin.
So it might be still a minute and a half until Troll gets that BKB done. And he's a lone bottom, technically. Flo is nearby, but if Troll gets gone on, he's dead. Like, BCZ could quite easily go and look for an initiator. Arc is bailing, he's out of there. Spidey sense are tingling.
It's very calm and collected at BCC. You know, I would have just been enchant term and crossed the map by now, but he understands. Mana is his limitation right now. You can't actually spam too much right now.
Mana conservation, damn it.
I just want to spam out, you know? Once he gets his Yules, though, that's when this gets a little bit scary. I feel like Blink's great, but if you already got the Ags, Yules is probably better given Team Spirit's current scenario.
But you're the kind of person who's like, oh, I'm on 60% mana, I should buy Clarity, and then you bring the courier out just for your one Clarity.
Radiance.
Okay, that's done that once. Right?
And then your Medusa's like, why can't I get my butterfly to me? Where's my goddamn courier?
Radiance.
But if he buys 4 Clarities, it's more reasonable. Is your problem the quantity that I buy, Gareth, or is it something else? You know,
everything. Quantity, quality. You know.
Somewhere we see this. It'd be easy to list the things you've done right here.
But yeah, you bought a Clarity. That's the one thing you've done right. Bringing it to you. Bringing it to you on the courier. Not so sure.
Slayer's
so there's
part B, by the way. He's got the Aether Lens on. So BKB, Aether Lens on Grimstroke, halfway towards the Yules. That's not going to happen anytime soon. It doesn't like to get that Soul Mind, which links into a double X.
So now they have 2 ways of getting out of Global, right? The Troll and the Kunkka both have BKBs. Now it is down to whether or not Flo and Slayer. Like you mentioning Slayer, very important to get the initiation in. Flo has to get that Mars ulti down as quickly as possible as well. Silencer here, global, I don't think.
No, they can't get him. You can only global if you're alive, and he most definitely isn't. Have buyback even, so that's 1 tower falling. But look at this movement. Team Spirit much quicker because the Skelly Bros are here, and they're here to stay. They're pushing for a tier 2, they won't stop. And with Shaken nearby, I'm not sure if you can defend. They're TPing an Iceberg right now, they feel confident. Let's drop behind. Interesting for Team Spirit to move away from that silencer up in 10 seconds, but they're being reserved. They realise they've got a fight, they don't want to throw it away.
They have no want to TP to Shrine's too far away, so if they wanted some kind of swing play, they want to be fighting at their Shrine, right? So they've made the strategic move to fall back to high ground, to where they have vision with that Ratty Observer Ward looking over the rune. So it's a smart move just to fall back. You know you're not going to get the tier 2 tower, so pushing for the objective isn't efficient at all. So it's nice to see that really consolidated effort to all fall back together. No one TPs alone. Very often we see that kind of single TP to retreat, and then 2 people are kind of left, you know, dangling without really any form of retreat. But they all fall back as a single unit. Now they regroup, keep farming away in the jungle. His butterfly is closing in very quickly. Can sell the Wraith Band and almost have it fully done.
Restraint as well, because you realise that actually Flight Moon's lineups would take Roche if you lose to Shaker, right? Like Shaker doesn't actually have a buyback, he's a decent way off it. If you lose him, you get 40 seconds. With Mars tanking, Troll can just run through Roche. I think that's the thing that Flight Moon have to look towards next. They're going to actually push from the bot in the meantime. They want to force someone back. They realise Team Spirit have to be consolidating their efforts around this Roche bit. They're going to charge down now. They're scanning. Well, the scan may be a little too early though. They're not going to see any TPs. They'll come afterwards. And there it is in the tree line. TPing in right now. Disruption is out. Moving away. But they're losing half the HP. Is that alright? That was a mistake. I don't want to be part of that. Stun comes out of the Troll. They're going to lose to them. Strike ball on the side. Just charging on through. Looking for a kill here. Always want to fly by some time. In the meantime, the BCZ needs to get out. Not time to get away. BKB. Iceberg moving forward. Global stance is now used. And they find anything here. They need to actually join up with both their sides. They're a little bit split. Movement in. BCZ has got the vision to work with. But BKB comes out. Arena from Mars. Flow finally on point. He keeps Medusa out of the fight. They turn around. Battle Trance there. Arc moving in. Snow Gaze working against him though with that Battle Trance. The Reincarnate being used. Illidan looking to fight one once more. X try and drag G back. Actually bring it in with a torrent. Nice leave out. No mana left on G, needs to retreat. Illidan get pretty low as well. Pinned up against the tree. He should fall. Alma won't keep him alive. They'll try and chase some more. Realize they can't, but what they could do now is they could look towards Roche. See if they want to, because Ark has gone top in time for the runes. It looks like they might just try and shove in the lanes, maybe take a tip too.
So funny watching Shadow Demon disrupt a bulldoze Spirit Breaker with 70% status resistance. Oh yeah, disruption lasts how long? 2.75? No. It lasts about a third of a second, my friend. Immediately pops out the bubble. But nice usage by the BKBs there of the Dire team. Troll held on as long as he could. He tanked the Wraithfire Blast at the start just to try and extend the fight, while Iceberg was looking for the Earthshaker in the backline, forcing the Earthshaker to try and enchant Totem out, but also using the X-Mark to drag him back in. So the zoning Mars ulti, like you mentioned, kept Medusa off to the west, but also trapped 3 heroes to the east, in between the Mars ulti. Like, they weren't necessarily in the Mars ulti, but they were trapped between the Mars ulti and a hard place, which was the Kunkka's Torrent and Boat, which connected onto 2 people at the same time, really forcing the hand of Team Spirit to fully retreat. And it just didn't work out for them, as that Wraith King, without reincarnation, tried armlet toggling, just didn't have the sustain or the utility behind him to keep him alive after that very early global from Silencer, it has to be said.
It does. Spirit Breaker charging in. He's always want to fly. You might see a little preview of what happens again with the purge, but he doesn't want to throw it out. Stunned up for what seems like an eternity. Torrent connects on 2 flow moves in. Everything's there, but he pins him up against the vision. That is not optimal for him. But coming through, but BC will move out, but stuns one up. Wraith can get pretty low. So on the side, W is going to be there. Fans still moving across Rebellion. They're coordinated. They're together. Flow is all alone. He's been left behind. He says the arena wasn't exactly what I was looking for, guys. I'll tank the death. No other choice.
Let me see the flip side of the coin. Dire team get the initiation bottom around their vision. They get the much nicer spread team fight where they're able to play multiple angles as FTM, keeping themselves quite nicely angled into the battle. Whereas this time around, Earthshaker finally opens up. He gets into 5th gear. He's bouncing around, finding pickoff after pickoff, target after target, and he forces FTM to fully retreat as Troll's BKB did get expended. Now down to 8 seconds, along with Kunkka's 9-second BKB. But it's Roshan that opens up for Team Spirit now. It's the more important fight. It's the more important pickoff. And it's definitely the more important objective.
You know, we sit here and we joke a little bit about Mars. We say he has these kind of suboptimal ultimates. I say kind of. They a lot of them are suboptimal. But you have to look at the whole picture, right? Like there's so much he has to do with these arenas. He has to catch certain people and keep others at bay. We saw a decent one where all he done is impale G, right, and kept him out of the fight. Because that's the biggest threat part, is we mentioned that volatile matchup between the Medusa and the Troll earlier, right? And while the Troll can do a lot with this diffusal, if you get that Stone Gaze off and his battle trance, his fight is over, alright? His watch is done. He will die. And I just feel like there's so much Flow has to do, and what we're seeing a lot of the time is an inability to do so. And it seems, I feel like we need to give more credit to it, because of the areas that are forcing these fights in, it's very hard for him to get a good arena down, as we just saw.
Exactly, especially that one there. Like they're moving into the Dire Northern Shrine to take control of Roshan. They don't want to push top lane because tier 2's already gone, but it gives them the option to go mid tier 2 if they want to. Team Spirit taking the more strategic, intelligent fights in the correct places. You know, bottom lane was an intelligent place to take a fight, and it worked out for the Dire team. They just couldn't get that full win to be able to take an objective, the tier 3 down there, because defender's advantage. They're fighting into the Radiant side of the map, whereas Roshan, much easier for Spirit to claim for themselves. And now with Aegis on Medusa, Butterfly Banter done, I don't see who FTM can actually put head-to-head and go toe-to-toe with Medusa.
Well,
he's level 20.
They might be forced to find out who they can go toe-to-toe with. You can already actually see a break up from the smoke. This is the confidence they have right now. Team Spirit are pretty split, looking for anyone, because they realize Fly to Moon, they kind of missed their window to fight. They need to buy time now. They need to buy a lot of it. They're going towards the MKB next. Troll still a little bit off. Almost has it. 25 gold. There we go.
I think time is okay for both teams.
Yeah.
I think item progression wise it's fine. I think they both scale reasonably into the kind of mid to late game. I just looked at net worth and I realized Grimstroke's ahead of the Mars. Didn't see that.
Moving in. Chance. Brave King. No mana. No life. Nice move there. They patiently waited out. They even BKB to ensure there was no interruption. They need to get Mars out though. That might be obvious on his own. But he wants the wins.
So I feel like whoever gets the initial jump onto the key targets is really in the more favorable position, no matter where the fight is and what team fight is happening. But it matters who the target is as well. It's not just get the jump and win the fight, it's get the jump on the correct player, on the correct hero, and then win the fight. So you're looking towards FTM jumping, the Earthshaker or the Silencer as their primary objectives. Whereas Team Spirit, I feel like they want to really just try and get the Mars ulti down onto, try and force the Mars ulti onto the Medusa. She stone gazes and wastes the BKBs of the Troll and the Kunkka, and that's the primary goal of Team Spirit, is to get Earthshaker in onto the Shadow Demon or the Grimstroke, force a soul bind from them, and then the rest of your team focuses down. Oh god, mid.
They're going in. Iceberg's been spotted. BKB gets forced out, but he is bashed up. They've got the Never Strike to work with. Boats coming through. Already down to half HP. He's slowing him down. There's the bash. Never Strike to hit him back, and I don't know if Iceberg's going home, but anything but a caster. He's gone. Oh, they're not done though. They're charging. This is how Spirit Breakers like to play the game. Why stop when you can keep running? They read it correctly though. No, he decides to get stuck.
No, so he's charging to Grimstroke, right? But the angle he was going at, if he continued forward to the Dire bottom shrine, he could have hit the SD on his line through.
Dire's middle tower.
Instead, they'll just push on the top. SD would be a nice kill to find, but right now they just want to try and force Flight to Moon to come back. You can already see it. Mars is backing up, will TP away, and Ark is reluctant to show. He wants to go for the trade, but now that you're not pressuring two lanes, you realize Team Spirit to respond on one side with force. And they've already got Spirit Breaker right close nearby. He knows about this. They're tricking him. They're tricking him right now. Shaker's coming back. They forced out the glyph. They can go back for Ark right now. Judge, moving on to him. The BKB gets out in time. They'll try and bash him up. They need a hit, but Velio with a mid chance on him doesn't get any luck.
20 seconds for another strike. Another chase on mid.
Exactly. They've left people behind. BKB and Flow just pins one against the wall. Can't get Global out. Instead, dies. And now G, his damage being tanked up as Flow watches him. Stonegaze comes out. Flow realizes they have to retreat. There's a disruption to cover their escape. Charge through and always want to fly. This time, this Spirit Breaker will commit. Jump straight in. Yours comes out. I'm not sure what he was hoping to do, but this wasn't the outcome he was looking for as he does go down.
And Ark gets the kill there.
At least his Medusa got away, though. I guess that's his notion. Is like, I'm worried. They might jump forward. They might look for a little bit more. I'll give my life for the cause. As you said, money on Ark. Land would catch up because he's the one who's starting to fall behind. He is going towards that Blink Dagger next.
Yeah. Again, it comes back to my point about the jump, right? They desperately need, whichever team, both teams need that desperate jump to catch the backliners. That's why the Troll, with his diminishing BKB now, of course, we have to remember in that entire trade with the bot and the fight mid, Troll did expend another BKB charge and it's down to 6-second duration now. Ark most certainly needs to get that jump though, whether it be onto the Medusa after Stone Gaze ends, he goes in, baits the Stone Gaze, goes out and then jumps back in with a blink BKB, or if it's to get the Silencer, if they have vision on him.
Still in, blinking forward. Looking forward here, BKB comes out straight away. He's going to hesitate and always want to fly. Just wants an easy pick off and he'll find it. Pursuing, looking for more. They won't scout for Ark. The pings are coming out. He needs to back up. Oh, just in time. They're still hunting, actually. But they'll decide against the fallback. They realize, no, don't make an aggressive play. Roche might respawn in just 2 minutes. We are getting to that stage where one slip up, we could be out of the Roche fight.
This Grimstroke's so farmed, man.
It's
90 GPM talent.
GPM talent's balanced, Gareth. I love that part of Dota. It's not been a part I've been concerned about for a long time now. It is insane, right? Like, I feel like the GPM talents introduced kind of a cast of support heroes that were better than others.
Oh, Flow. Top lane, hey?
He gets caught out. BZD was scouting around, forcing out the BKB, but he's still bashed up. Never Strike to hit him back. Global Silence as well. Can't throw down his Arena. BKB's running out. Silencer does die for it, though. Now the ping's coming out. Arena goes down. The side Grimstroke kept away from the fight with the pitcher. Boat coming through. Connect on a one. Illidan dragged back. Stunned up with the Spirit Breaker as well. They'll fight for him. Illidan, though, is going to be close. He should have enough mana here. Goggles off just to make sure there's the Reincarnate Troll. Turned around. Got hit by the Stone Gate. The False Stun's going to be there. AKB charging in. Illidan looking for the kill here. And then down to on. Echo Slam as well. Will bring him down. Troll dead for 75 seconds. Moving in. Just on the flow. Has to turn and face up against G. The moment he turns around to run away is the last, though, as he goes down an Iceberg. Being pursued. BKB's ran out. Moving in. Soulbite doesn't connect on Illidan. Yours there to buy some time to allow Cookie to move away. Iceberg will live. Disruption was on it too. Brings him out. That's a lot of spooky illusions right there. Trying to move away. Clean them up. We'll be able to do so. But not before always want to fly die. No jump in. Stun comes out. What are you doing? That is not the high ground. That is not safe. You will go down. down. And look at that, a convenient creep wave in time for them to hit the tower.
Yeah, the troll couldn't get onto the Medusa. They needed the troll to really focus down onto G. Illidan flicks forward.
Illidan's going aggressive. And they've got the boat buff on him, but how long can you last? Iceberg needs to move away. Nice defensive disruption by a little bit of time. They could force it up though. The reincarnate to slow down Iceberg can set up in chance terms as they move in. This spot's going to run out soon. Kunkka starting to melt
Down
very
he
quickly
goes.
here. See you later, buddy.
Davy Jones' locker awaits you.
He'll stay there for a long time. 80 seconds till it's up. If this is a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, he would have just missed one full movie. Always want to
Where's
fly.
the rope
And up
on?
next, Never Strike being held on to here. They don't need it. BKB from Illidan to make sure he's not interrupting the flow. Just sitting in the back, shrugging, going, guys, I need more teammates. I can't do anything on my own.
Yeah, FTM, their time's run out, their BKBs have run out, everything's run out for them at this point. They found the silencer at the start of the fight and forced a very early global silence. The troll using that blink effectively to get that pick off, but that meant he was late to the fight. The actual fight was happening much further north where the Medusa, the Wraith King, they were setting up for this reincarnation slow into stone gaze, into charge through, everything just lining up perfectly. Puzzle piece after puzzle piece, slotting into place, and Team Spirit, they're hitting this timing with gusto. 36 minutes in, G, he's 3-0-9 on the Medusa.
Jump in, Globstance comes out, G, out of mana, but
Six
they can't
Fisher.
reach him properly. The Fisher on point. They're going to push him back in now, but he stands around and holds. Jump in, Storm's going to come out, Troll Wall,
BCG.
charge through on the bars. They want to end this here and now.
Call it.
And it looks like Team Spirit have taken the game. Call it indeed, Slayer.
G!
Grimstroke strong. Oh, G, what? He goes down. It won't change much. Slayer's very happy with himself, a small smile on his face as he just sticks up his middle finger and fades into the ground as they're looking to dive in. They won't do so. Soulbind linking them together. Illidan's still alive, able to move away, but this looks cut and dry. Even without Medusa, they could look for more. Just hit onto the buildings. Instead, they're going to buy their time. They say, okay, you've done it. Grimstroke clutching a hold from the jaws of defeat here, but he might pay a price now. He came out, he was looking for something, maybe some runes, maybe some wars. He won't get anything. Instead, he'll just give gold over. Illidan's BKB'd up, will get the kill, blink away. X gonna come out onto BCZ, but all the time for Always Want to Fly to Riot. They force the BKB out, and Shaker will TP away alive.
Two full lanes of Barrack of a couple of really sick team fights. That Fisher in the mid lane actually blocking the Medusa away from the two initiators of FTM. BZZ allowed G to survive another 10 seconds there, which really he had no purpose doing so. Still dead for 40 seconds, G, but he'll respawn full of life and vigor and ready to go for that bottom tier 2 into tier 3, of course, after Roshan has been taken. Oh, FTM, are you really going to go for a tasty Roshan sneak? He's gone into the pit.
You've got a level 20 talent. He didn't actually take the damage, He took the evasion on Troll. Not something we see too often. They're being slowed down. They need to be careful. Echo Slam on cooldown for 15 seconds. I don't know if they do this quick enough, Gareth. Charge coming in. On to Always Want to Fly. They'll stun him up. Jump in with the enchant turn. Follow up with Lillian. Stun up on the Troll Wall. BKB goes through. They read it out. Look at the chance going to get him low. Has no chance to work with the boat through as well. Stunning them up right now. Sansa can't escape. BCC will. And
they have an Echo
on each
still.
side right now. There it is. Jumping in right now. Echo is available, but he doesn't want to throw it out on the Troll Wall, who has the battle trance activated. Blooded. Moving in. Once the forces reincarnate to be popped, they will. Buyback comes out from the Spirit Break. One charge forward on this arc. Going to be protected, but Always Want to Fly gives his life for this. And there's no easy escape. Echo Slam perfectly timed. Troll Wall is dead. No chance to get himself a second life. And no way back into this game because he's 150 gold short of buyback. This might be the decisive moment.
G respawned, came back into the mid lane, walked into the back of the fight, found a couple of very low HP easy pickoffs, and I think now FTM realizing Troll dead for 70. No real way to contest Roshan. This is in the hands of the Medusa. And Spirit Breaker with BZZ's Earthshaker, they're chasing people into tier 4s.
Hey, we're getting tempted right there because if you bring down Flow, the game is done. He has no way back into the fight. Just 50 gold shy. He needs to make sure he stays alive until he has that buyback available. They can't go for Megas. They need to go for Throne. And Team Spirit is going to do exactly that. No time for 60 seconds. There is a window to get Troll back up, but you have to buy time.
They have MKB, Skadi, Manta on G's Medusa. Doesn't feel like there's a way to stop this. 29 seconds for Troll.
You're going to have to go in before 15 seconds till he's up. And instead, the wants to go in. Always Want to Fly going to go down. All of a sudden, there. BKB comes out. Flow. He gets bashed up though. He can't throw down the arena quick enough. He'll finally pin Medusa up against the wall, but the Stone Gaze came out first. Grimstroke on the side. Going to go down. 8 seconds dead. BKB still running. Means they can't fire up against his charge through. Belial ignoring Flow. Looking straight onto Iceberg to stun him up, control him up. And now they'll turn and converge on the final member. Buyback comes out from Mark. out by the Ray 5 blast. Speed up a little bit of time, but it's too late. He's dead. 9 seconds on the sideline. Troll is alive now. Throne exposed. GG comes out. They know it's all over.
G still has
Team Spirit.
Aegis.
Yep, never gave it up. Never surrendered. We wondered if this would be punished. We said, drop Gareth.
Yeah.
Team Spirit. Did they have the aggression coming out lanes? No, it wasn't in their favor. Could they do enough? And it feels like the story of this game was shaken.
And you think back on it, that mid lane could put so much pressure on the Medusa, but FTM never had heroes to go and make plays. The Mars missing